Qualifying NET multiple times, does it actually count towards your resume building? So that is something that we would understand today. But before we begin with, let's talk about understanding a very simple idea, and that idea is, let's assume you have entered into the school with your LKG and the first classes, and now you are all set coming out of the school, crossed your 11th and 12th examination. Now, let's assume another scenario. So, what is this scenario about? This scenario is about a condition when you would be thinking of re-entering in the school after you have completed your 12th. So that phenomena where we talked about focusing on entering in the school when you were in grades, lower grades, class 1 or 2, exiting out of the school, but at the point where you have already exited the school, do you think of entering back into the system? And that is obviously no. You would say this is unbelievable, this is incredulous. However, then if this is the scenario when it's your schooling, why is there cases where people keep on giving net and say that they have qualified net 4 times, 5 times? Does it actually matter? I would say obviously not. What actually matters is if you are giving your net examination for improvement purposes. So for this we conducted a poll, and this was the poll results that we have. Obviously over the time this results would have changed, but the idea is a lot of you believe that it adds towards your resume building. As I said, it's actually not the scenario. If you are qualified your net examination and you are aiming for JRF, that's a good strategy. Obviously, you should go ahead and pursue your dream. But again, do not go unprepared. Do not think that I'll give this attempt, I'll qualify the JRF. That's just simply wastage of your time and the years would pass by. Consider these are the crucial life forming career building years. So don't just spoil your years giving in exam once and twice. A very simple thing I could explain here is, if you could not do something with one net, would you be able to do the same thing with two net? Obviously not. So either you are going for one net examination or two net examination, you are qualifying two of those with the same subject, it does not matter. However, in terms of some of the coaching industries, some of the businesses, it might be a good way of asking students that it adds to your resume. But when you are thinking it open mindedly, you understand that you are spending 6 months towards giving your net examination. In those 6 months you could have obtained a work experience, you could have applied as a guest faculty, as a research associate, you could have written some of your research papers, given some of your publications, you could have gained experience in industry probably where you could get recommendations, you could have tried positions in universities and colleges where you could get better contacts and better more opportunities to pursue with. I would have another story or another case scenario with you. Let's say I am in an interview committee and there are two students who have come up for the interview. You have candidate A versus candidate B. Candidate A comes up with a resume to me saying that I have qualified net 4 times or 5 times in so and so subject. So this is something that I have been doing for last 2-3 years and this is my resume. The next candidate, candidate B, walks in, says that I gave my first attempt, I qualified my net, I pursued a work experience, it could be an industry experience, it could be a government experience whatsoever, or during this period I have written certain of the publications, I am still waiting for my JRF to pursue my PhD, but that could be one of the cases that in that case you are applying for your JRF. But if not, then you are open to join your PhD program. JRF is just a fellowship that you would get for your PhD. Otherwise, you do not have any added advantage. And yes, of course, when you are getting placed, a candidate with JRF would get a better edge than a non-JRF candidate. But besides that, in this scenario, if there are two candidates with a different resume coming in, I would, as an interviewer, definitely prefer a candidate who has NET along with work experience or some publications or research paper. So it has to be very clear that these are your life forming, career forming years. Do not just stop by and see your colleagues and get influenced by some of the industries around saying that multiple NET qualifying is a good idea. As I mentioned, go for NET, repeat NET only and only if you are aspiring for JRF, and that too if you are 100% sure that you are committed to work hard for the next 6 months. If you are in a swing that okay, I'll just fill the form, give the examination, it's wastage of time, because neither you are focusing your energy towards a place where you could get a future employment, nor you are getting full focused on pursuing your JRF. So you would be lying in the no zone area. So make sure that you have your goals very well defined, and uh, thinking about qualifying NET more than once does not add to your resume. So this is what I want to convey here. A lot of votes going into this direction. So be very particular about this thing, and we would be covering many more such important issues that students actually face. Sometimes they do not know what to do, sometimes they are misguided, sometimes they do not know what actually is the next way out. So we would be there, and if you are having any doubts, any questions, feel free to post those in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to address your queries. Have a wonderful day ahead.